citizens of this nation. We are taxpayers in this nation. So when we speak, I don't want to talk to anybody from weakness. I never talk to anybody from a position of weakness. President Kibaki knew, Tokata Ruto Bilongeo. Ero kamana ahinya, abende adwa wacho matin ahinya, tadwa wache kaparo ngima gi tich ma Professor Goto setiyo. And ung'wona nikech nyocha ka wan gi piny Luo e Siaya ka, noyudo ka Luo wapek. Sani gimoro timore DRC, to e piny mar DRC moloyo kamiluongo ni Ituri, en piny moganda mag Luo nitie. Omiyo gibende gik mwatimo e Kenya ka, girango kendo ginono ka wuotho kanyakla. Nyocha wan Addis Ababa kacha bende nitie oganda mar Luo ma agoero kamano na Adams Olo ema noyudo anywa ma Ethiopia mondo bi kae. Ka wan ne wan kopondo to mosowa ni Luo achiel, to an aparo ni mito puonje to wacho kaka nowacho ne kaka ji wacho Ethiopia. Omiyo, we got not just a local responsibility, we got a regional and international responsibility. So allow me to say the following. It is something that amazes me that I come to weep for the death of this great man. That so many years ago, hardly 2 years ago, we were at Great Lakes University. And the main speech of that occasion was made by Professor Wasau. And the topic of that discussion was so abstract, you needed to understand philosophy and knowledge to get to know what Professor Wasau was talking about. It was a very long lecture. And it was based on the theory and history of knowledge. Very difficult subject to deal with. At the end of that lecture, President Museveni, who was in that congregation, asked that he needed an audio and text copy of the speech of Professor Wasau, talking about the theory and history of knowledge, epistemology, like some of our scholars would talk about. As the way. Now, recently, again, before his death, this great man, and I want to thank Adams Olo, when we are looking for those who are going to give the speeches at Pilo, that he thought and determined that whether Professor Goto was going to be able to come to Kupondo or not, his speech was still going to be one of the major speeches of Pilo. And you came and recorded him, and it was played to the entire world. And I remember when I was in Ethiopia, I met one of the people who come from the great kingdom where the Anywa come from. And they had heard the speech that Professor Goat gave. And he spoke about the Luo. Who are we? And a lot of times when I listen to our politicians, and I said recently, if I was Shakespeare alive today, because Shakespeare said you must kill all the lawyers, but I propose kill all the politicians. Because politicians don't listen. They don't listen. They are concerned about the immediacy of the moment. Kakasani, Okero Nikai, Okero Nikai, Okero, we must remember he is one of the few people who are the first lawyers in this country. Kolo Agams Kodek. And Okero was a senior member of cabinet, Ndalo Jomo Kenyatta. Me, I was in parliament when we were a single party. There were so many laws in that government of Kenyatta and Moi. But what I'm saying, if you are there without realizing your very essence, who are you? What is it all about? Then we are not going to get anywhere. So I remember what Professor Goto was saying. Another great Luo from Uganda, Olaro Tun, Mono Achode, Lukitwa. So, what Professor Ogot said during that meeting, and that sector of the meeting was dealing with the intellectuals, historians, and you heard all of them. It's something which is already on record. When we were burying Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, I quoted Shakespeare that I come here not to praise Jaramogi, but to bury him. I did not finish that quotation because Shakespeare said, the evil that men do lives with them, but the good they do is interred with them. I thought that it was the other way around. I had to check it again. That the evil that men do lives with them, but the good that they do is interred with them. Today, the good that this great man, Professor Ogot, did, I hope that it shall not be interred with him. If you look at the history of the Southern Luo, there's a proposition now that the history of the Southern Luo is not just about the history of the Southern Luo. Is a history of antiquity beyond Egypt and beyond Babylon and Mesopotamia. And I can tell you, if you look at commentary that people are making about who ruled Egypt at the time of the pharaohs, and their images, they are not Arabs, they are not white people, they are black people. And if somebody says that the Luos have been part of the history of the cradle of knowledge from Mesopotamia to Egypt to Sudan, I am telling you that that responsibility that you have requires of you as a Luo nation, It requires of you as a Luo nation to be people who can determine the direction where the country is going. And I'm happy about what Raila Amolo Odinga has done in this nation. And Raila, we say Raila can never lose. Raila will always win because he's always on the right side of history. He's always on the right hand of history. Ano kaluro wachalieri. Gimoro timre e Isiaya, kado timre Homo Bay. Kikwa vikuro kanyama paro ni miwa citizens of this nation. We are taxpayers in this nation. So when we speak, I don't want to talk to anybody from weakness. I never talk to anybody from a position of weakness. President Kibaki knew, Tokata Ruto belongeo. When I talk to him, I don't speak from weakness because I know my rights, which are determined by God the Almighty. So don't turn the Luo nation to a nation Maparo ne one by accident. We are not here by accident. We are not here by accident. And we are still looking for the day that Luo will be a president of the Republic of Kenya. We are looking for that day. So mano nyalo muna timore kawa oduomilo ngano ODM obedo motegno. Kawa obedo motegno. Kawa obedo motegno. Maonge ringo. Anang'en kwatimo mano will be the path of honesty and truthfulness. Will be the path of doing the righteous thing. Koro akwayo Elisha Irmanchanigo Simu, I have not heard it. The Professor Wewa. And I was glad that you called me. I was glad you called me. Kick don't you and the Magjo Moko. Why you go good? Why you go good? Why you as a hero of Orengo, of Elisha, of the world? Why you as our hero? Every what you want I have been here long enough. I've been long enough. Part of his problem. Very difficult days. So he was in charge of one of the biggest ministries in the land. Power, communications, roads, and public work. He cannot entertain fools. Nitie jomoko ginyalo bedo ni giria kanya ni jodigri. Inyalo bedo ni ria tifuo. Inyalo bedo ni ria tifuo. Inyalo bedo ng'at ma jadigri to yamo mtoka malich ahinya to min mare chwer. Koro olaw gi min. Olaw gi min. Omiyo an akwau kaka oganda mar Luo. Kaka oganda mar Luo. Kaka oganda mar Luo. Ung'eno kudwere Kenya ka. Gimuyudo is as a matter of right. We are not ng'ama wacho ni wadhi lemo ni ng'ato mani kelo siasa mag achagua mar shareholders. Kenya kae okodwa siasa mar shareholders. Wan gi siasa mar weg piny. Wan gi weg piny. Ogot ne en wuon piny. Jaramogi Odinga ne en wuon piny. To Raila Amolo Odinga en wuon piny. Joy. Thank you very much. Thank you. Makofi mazuri kwa gavana wetu. Wonderful. Thank you.